Two phenomenal chances in the
November 4th, 2014. South Atlantic Conference Tournament Quarterfinals.
She's so good at that speed play.
Wingate is the defending tournament champion. With their season on the line, the game heads to overtime. It's win or go home.
Cherniak again. Now she chips it to the far post, trying to angle it in. It's Howell, and she does it! Brooke Howell with the game winner in just the second minute. The Bulldogs have won the quarterfinal here at the Wingate Soccer Complex.
In the end, we pulled it out, and that's a win's a win.
But this isn't a story about one win or one goal. It's about a breakout season for Wingate sophomore Brooke Howell, a season that was almost cut short after a routine doctor's appointment led to a stunning discovery.
I do think she had a glimpse that, something she loved so much and has done all of her life could be gone pretty quick.
Brooke Howell was born October 10th, 1994, the second of Tom and Melissa Howell's two children.
She has a real strong personality, so what she's thinking, and what she thinks, she pretty much says.
She always knew exactly what she wanted to do. She didn't let anybody really influence her too much.
Anyone, that is, except her big brother Chase. Typical sibling rivalry aside, the pair found common ground in the front yard kicking around a soccer ball.
I was always trying to get her to play with me, play sports outside when we were growing up, and she was always really good. She always tried to keep up with me.
So he pushed me to be better, and I'd play with his friends, which they're like 4 years older than me.
We always kind of look back and go, she started playing because of him.
Chase would eventually choose baseball over soccer, but for Brooke, the front yard fun became something more.
She started playing soccer at the Harris YMCA, I think, when she was 5 years old, and loved it from minute one. We did encourage her to try some other things just to see if she would like it more. She tried basketball 1 year, and it was 1 year.
Brooke's parents soon joined many other families, spending weekends carpooling to practices and more time at tournaments than at home.
She was very adamant, and she stuck with it. There were many times, maybe she was getting a little frustrated, but she never said, I don't want to play, or I want to stop, or I don't want to play in the next year.
Yeah, she had times playing club soccer, different associations and different coaches look for different things. She had some club experiences that, were not real favorable for her because she was not a big person. She was fast, but not real strong. So some of the coaches wanted, bigger, stronger players. So there were seasons where she didn't play a whole lot on her club team.
She got into those high school days. When did you start realizing that, you really had a love for the game, and maybe it was something you wanted to do after high school?
When my coach started talking to me about it, I was like, I think you have potential to go to the next level. And I talked to my parents and my brother about it, and I just felt like it was the right thing to do.
After making a list of potential schools, attending several soccer camps at various colleges, the choice became clear. Brooke chose Wingate University, a Division II school less than an hour drive from her childhood home in Charlotte, North Carolina. She would become a starting forward for Coach Chip Wiggins.
And she came in with a lot of pace, which really helps the team out. Coupled with a lot of good technical ability. She loves to score goals. She loves to go forward. And she also is not afraid to get a tackle in as well. But we also felt like there was a really high ceiling there. We just needed to work with her a little bit during the off season.
Grade Brooke Howell's freshman year as a soccer player.
I wanted to make my mark here, and so I went out every game as hard as possible and tried to prove myself. We went into spring season, and I lifted a lot, gained weight. I was better tactically and mentally, and I just felt like I was a better player going out into the summer. And into summer, I worked the camps, so I was hoping to keep my foot on the ball and run around and be a teenager.
But an annual doctor's visit quickly derailed those plans.
This particular doctor always does thyroid checks during that visit, and she did a check, and she came home and she said, I have a nodule on my thyroid, and she said I should get it ultrasound and checked.
We went from her being strong and thinking she's just getting ready for soccer, dealing with those things, getting ready for school, checking the box off of the annual visits with the doctor, to the next thing we know, we're dealing with cancer.
It was honestly the worst night of my life. I remember we were at my apartment and we were sitting there, and my mom takes a phone call out in the hallway and comes in and tells us, and it was devastating. I mean, it's just, cancer's not a word you want to hear.
Your dad, took you aside and told you, and what were your reaction, what were your emotions when he said the word cancer?
None. I mean, no words can describe it. So.
Just days after learning the news, Brooke would undergo a 6-hour surgery to remove her thyroid gland and lymph nodes.
It's very unusual to have this young person getting thyroid cancer, and considering her age, she did very well. I mean, she was well motivated, and she had a great supportive family.
Endocrinologist Dr. Narasimhan took over Brooke's care after her surgery. Signs of thyroid cancer, he says, can include trouble swallowing or speaking, but oftentimes many people, like Brooke, never show symptoms of being sick.
It's an incidental finding most of the time. If she didn't notice a lump, or if the examining doctor or if the family did not notice the lump, then it could go on for a while. So that is the problem with thyroid cancer.
No one likes the C word, but that's what it is. And everyone just knows about like breast cancer, leukemia, and stuff like that. But thyroid cancer is actually more common than you'd expect. I found that out from having it myself. But I think people should go get regularly checked because it's not something to mess with. It can spread to become something more.
Like a majority of thyroid cancer patients, Brooke underwent radioactive iodine treatment to destroy any remaining thyroid tissue.
I couldn't work out, and so it was really frustrating about not being able to work out as a college athlete. That's like what I live for.
Brooke's new normal now consists of taking a daily medication in the form of a synthetic hormone used to mimic the thyroid's ability to control how quickly her body uses energy and makes proteins.
When I found out about it, that was my first question, was when will I be able to play again?
Brooke was reluctant to tell anyone the news, wanting to be back on the field without her coaches or teammates ever finding out. When she finally did say something, it was on her own terms in the locker room before preseason practice.
She was really strong and nonchalant about it all. And she was always just worried about her team and her friends and stuff more than anything.
There were times where I could see she was struggling a little bit, whether it be physically or just mentally with everything. But she just keeps plugging away. She's an amazing kid.
September 4th, 2014, Wingate takes on USC Aiken.
Wingate go girls! By number 10, Brooke Howell.
Number 10 is back on the field alongside the rest of her team for the first game of the season.
Let's go, Brooke!
Come on, Wingate!
What was that first game back, just knowing that she was going to be okay and she was going to get out of bed, but just continue like things were?
For me, it was very, very simple. It was relief, just relief.
I was just very anxious. I wanted her to do well. I wanted her to be, just be out there and doing what she does best, but I was so anxious. And when I saw her out there, I was like, wow, she looks strong. That was one of the first things I thought. I was like, wow, she looks stronger than she did last year. And so that was probably the biggest thing. It made me feel a little better that she looked stronger, and then to watch her play, I could see it.
It's almost, I've taken watching her play soccer for granted before this happened, and now I go and see her play, and it's amazing.
The biggest thing that I saw was that she was not afraid to make mistakes. She didn't care. She was just going to go play. There was nothing to lose in her mind, and that's how she played on, in games. Whereas in the past, she would be hesitant and maybe, make a mistake, and she just threw all that to the side and just said, you know what, I'm just going to go and play.
Well, it definitely put things in perspective for our entire team, and we've all came really close, and I think it's good that we have, because I feel like with our team being this close, we're a better support system for her as she goes through this.
It may have made me mentally stronger and play like every game like it was my last, but I think last season I had a goal, and coach was like, I want you to get this amount of goals, And that was what I was looking after, and I was looking at how to make my team better, and I was just playing for them because they had been there for me so many times.
Brooke would end up scoring twice in the season opener against Aiken. By the end of her sophomore season, she would be Wingate's second leading scorer, first team all-conference, and join her team in winning the 2014 South Atlantic Conference tournament title. Major accomplishments by anyone's standards, but for strong-willed Brooke Howell, just another chance to prove she planned to approach life's obstacles one way, by going through it and moving forward.
Touches to the inside. Howell, yes!
What was that day like for you? What was that moment like, getting back out there and realizing that you are going to be okay and you can do what you love?
The best. Unforgettable.